Starting along the blue line, it's going to be the third line forwards of Holman, Crouston, and Kuman Cease, the Calgary Flames draftee. We're all set to go. Anthony Crouston looking in. Our officials tonight, Brian Hicks, Peter Fiola, the two referees, Ryan Knapp, Patrick DePuzzo, back on the line. We're underway here at Bright Landry. Great to have you on board. The shot comes in. It's just towed aside by Michael Lackey. Save number one right out of the gate. We were talking about that moments ago, Tim. Arizona State can't afford to take any shifts off, and the lumber is laid by Jacob Wilson. He sends a message on a high, hard hit to Jack Bedini, who scored last night.
High, hard, and also clean, Kevin. That was shoulder to chest. It left the Harvard defenseman kind of picking up the pieces there, but it was completely clean. The arms stayed down. They play on.
Dornbach hits the break, sets up a shot. And DeCord looked behind him, but just held on to make that save.
That's a difficult shot for the left wing, coming off the off-wing circle, cutting in towards the slot for that shot, and DeCord had to be out on top of his crease to read that well and make the save here and pinch the knees.
Gregoire uncorked a big one there, scored 2 games back in that momentum-shifting win on the road against Brown. Harvard has now rattled off 2 victories in a row. They've taken points in each of their last 3 games. That includes a draw against Yale last weekend on the road. Pass through center ice, just off the tape. The intended target, Brett Gruber. His father, a Yale University alum who played on the hockey team for the Bulldogs. Out to the point it goes, that's wide of Lackey. Much better start for Arizona State so far, generating shots. Rick Powers couldn't believe that his team was so slow to develop, because they actually arrived on Wednesday here in New England. And he said through the first 3 seasons as a Division I program, Arizona State had some trouble rising to the occasion on Friday nights. It usually took them a game and a half to get comfortable on the road. That's what they revisited last night.
Yeah, as an ACHA program before the elevation to Division I, it's a much different travel schedule. We'll have an icing here, and you're not going on these cross-country plane trips to play the doubleheader on the weekend. And even in their first 2 seasons, they had some opponents, nationally ranked opponents, where they lost in overtime, and they were just away on that next step from taking a overtime loss to an overtime win and really elevating this program. And they're doing it leaps and bounds year over year. Already the 18th ranked team in the nation so far this season.
Icing brings the face-off all the way back down in front of DeCord. That's a first ever ranking for Arizona State. Greg Powers, the head coach, in his 11th year, took this group from club hockey to Division I. An incredible story down in the desert. Offside spotted here.
Former player for Arizona State as well in his time down in Tempe. He's been there pretty much ever since. Took off the skates, put on the suit, and there he is here coaching in his 2nd game at Bright Landry.
The most unique college hockey experience in the country. That's how they're selling it to players all around North America. On the other side, Harvard's been playing hockey at the varsity level 117 years longer than Arizona State. Crimson certainly looked like the more storied program last night. Bouncing puck in the middle of the slot, bodies go flying, ends up underneath the skate. Jordan Sandu, turn and a fire, that missed the mark. Michael Floodstrand gave it a go. Crimson chipping away here, trying to get back into this game. Arizona State a little bit more lively from the opening puck drop. Arizona State tries to skate it out. They had so much trouble last night transitioning defense to offense, especially through the neutral zone.
Yeah, Harvard did a really good job there, Kevin. They clogged up the middle of the ice, didn't allow the skater to have any opportunities for that pass. You just have to go with a soft dump inside the neutral zone. Quick turnover, you get a change. It doesn't do much offensively for you.
Long dump and skate there. Arizona State's forecheck developed very little last night. Looking for a turn and fire. Garcia out to the high slot. That shot blocked.
Good block by Krusko. I think he got that at the top of the circle.
I was really impressed with Nathan Krusko, the Alpharetta, Georgia product. We talk about non-traditional hockey areas. Alpharetta producing more and more Division I talent. Seen a couple players the journey up north here to New England. Harvard playing in these alternate throwback home sweaters. And we've got a delayed penalty coming here, touched up by the Sun Devils. Looks like tripping will be the call against Arizona State. So hang on tight, because this is where Harvard did most of its damage last night.
Yeah, That's going to be Phillips Bunches going to the box for the trip. Thought they may have had something for a board on the far side, or the near side corner, I should say, but instead they get the trip on Bunches. And as you mentioned, Kevin, one of the most lethal power plays in the nation back to work.
Harvard's power play now leading Division I after going 2 for 4 last night. They're scoring 42% of the time. On the other side, Arizona State entered this weekend with the best penalty kill in the country, and Greg Powers said his group was humbled as you've got a hard collision here with Lackey getting tied up behind the goal. Dylan Holman may have tagged him on the back heel with that skate extended.
Yeah, keep an eye on Lackey here. He's moving around a little gingerly. Holman just caught an edge trying to go around the net on the forecheck and kind of wiped out Lackey. It's just a very innocuous play, and you hate to see something like that, but take a look here. He was already down by the time he made contact on him.
And you wonder about Lackey because Harvard's been looking diligently for starting goaltender that adds a lot of consistency. Been back and forth between Michael Lackey and Cameron Gornet. Junior waiting in the wings, who has appeared so far this year. Ed Donato didn't commit before this weekend series to say that it would be Lackey's show. He wants to see results each and every night. So far, so good. 1-0 weekend thus far for Lackey. Harvard trying to set up this dynamic power play. Adam Fox cashed in on the power play last night. He's joined by Riley Walsh out there. Casey Dornbach, the first year in the mix as well. Back and forth across the blue line. Walsh into the spin cycle. It's Fox. Switches sides. Dornbach has some room through the circle. Plays it down low. A turn and a pass. Ended up on the stick of Fox. Harvard keeping it alive. Less than a minute left on the power play. And Dornbach just barely held the line. Good poke checking here by Arizona State. A small breakdown. The shot comes in to Cord. Can't make the second save. It's a goal for Harvard, and it might be Riley Walsh on the doorstep.
I think you might be right, Kevin. I think that kicked off Josh Maniscalco's skate in front there. DeCord made the first save, and it goes back to its original target. And on the centering pass, gets a piece of Maniscalco. Enters harmlessly into the net. It's going to be Zerder Gossage. He keeps staying hot. Player to watch tonight.
How about that? A nifty move with the stick along the goal line extended. Power play goal as it stands right now. 1-0 to score in favor of the Crimson.
And that power play once again doing the damage here. Arizona State second in the nation in penalty kill, and that number is going to continue going down. And, you know, power plays are a weapon for a lot of teams. This is almost becoming like a video game right here with their success rate as they inch up close to 50%.
Zerder Gossage now with 4 points this weekend. Lackey with the glove save and a stoppage. 15:20 to go in the first period. Harvard out on the front foot again. They have not trailed this weekend against the Sun Devils.
It's not quite a back-breaking goal for Arizona State, but that's a goal that you really hate to give up, especially on a play so innocent as a centering pass. And you really open up the momentum. A couple of big hits, get the cycle game going for the Sun Devils, and now you're down 1-0, not even 5 minutes into the opening period.
What could DeCord be thinking on the other end? Sometimes you just have to tip your cap to an outstanding play like that one from Zerder Gossage. Senior coming alive this weekend. I say the junior co-captain, helping guide this team along with the senior, working alongside Michael Floodstring.
Bowman without a stick here. It's essentially a 5-on-4, but Harvard's going to break it out.
Floodstrand takes it up on the right wing. All the way down into the corner. Arizona State with its back to the wall again. This is one of the most dynamic offenses in the country. Entering this game 9-4 overall. One more win this weekend and they would match an all-time season high in program history for wins in a year, and it's not even December yet as Tyler Bush, who was stifled last night, just leveled another big check. Olsen got the brunt of it that time.
I think Olsen
stick
was
down on the ice as well. And Olsen has an answer as he skates up against Morocco.
Olsen was watching the paint dry a little bit there and got the good clean hit from Bush, and they play on. But Arizona State's really made a point of it going in hard on these checks tonight.
Morocco may have been interrupted by that stick, which is now broken inside the faceoff circle. Picked right off the stick by Krusko. Here come the Crimson, 3-on-2 if they hurry. Serter Gossage looking back post, saved by DeCord. Nice feed across the ice. Crimson had numbers up the ice. And now a second chance developing for Kresko, who just missed.
That's a big
Gossage
save by
chips
DeCord.
it along. Yeah, you said it. Cord arguably made save of the year last night. Looked like he was beaten, went out to challenge the shooter, and then flung his body across the goal mouth. Here's a centering pass, and another save by DeCord. He gets post to post better than just about anyone we've seen.
And that's exactly right, Kevin. He goes left to right across his crease. He stays square to the shooter. And by the time that puck gets from one side of the ice to the other, or in that second play, from the right faceoff dot into the slot, there's nowhere to shoot. He's central, he's on top of his crease, and he's really attacking there. And you're going to need to pick a corner to beat DeCord so far.
Outstanding action here in the early going for Harvard. Goal by Serter Gossage. Riley Walsh. It's his second assist in as many games. Well, the advantage for Harvard yesterday in the first period was hard to miss. They outshot ASU 14-2, so at the very least here, Arizona State skating the puck out of its own end and becoming a little bit more dangerous because they didn't wake up until the second 20 minutes yesterday.
You want to be awake, and especially knowing you've got a cross-country flight either tonight or tomorrow. Could be an extra long flight if you come out flat after another first period.
Jack Bedini, best face-off man in the nation, steps in. Poked along toward the end boards. Harvard so good at winning the draw. Arizona State clogs up the works there. Quick line change here for the Sun Devils. Ashnick on the pressure, one of two Pashnooks on this team. Brinson and Steen, products of Bonnyville, Alberta. A lot of Western Canadians on this squad for the Sun Devils. Cued around, held in by Harvard. Chipped on by John Marino, the Northeastern Mass native, was so good last night. Seemed like he was just about everywhere over the top of the puck. Bloodstrand on the go. Ooh, nearly poked it ahead for Colton Kerfoot, who had broken up ice. That's Bloodstrand. In front of the Sun Devils bench. Slips it alongside to Kerfoot. That's wide. Ford tried to settle it down. Another shot comes in. Big rebound in front. Kerfoot nearly buried it. Ford known for letting the play continue. He's triggered a lot of offense this year for Arizona State. He's got 2 assists. Onside are the Crimson. Big rebound again off the drive from Bloodstrand. Sharks are circling here. Big shot comes in from range. DeCord toe poked it away. Arizona just fires it back in, and there you see DeCord's going to cover it up for a faceoff. Time to break. 11:51 to go here in the first period. Crimson lead the Sun Devils 1-0. Elite special teams on both sides of this 2-game weekend, but Harvard getting the best of that Arizona State penalty kill once again tonight.
And Arizona State on the opening moments of that penalty kill was very aggressive. They were following the puck to the corner. They were pressuring the Harvard defenseman. Then as Harvard worked their cycle around, they were able to break it down pretty quickly. There was an earlier moment on that power play, Kevin, where Harvard had 2 players down in front of the slot.
Shot deflected in front. Second chance off the chest of DeCord.
I want to finish that thought. They had a couple play options in the slot. They weren't able to do anything about it. It was a backhand centering pass, made its way all the way to the blue line. But then they broke it down once again, and Arizona State has to be careful being too aggressive on this power play, or on that penalty kill. Excuse me.
Look at Arizona State having more trouble in its own zone. Players just spinning and firing across ice. They've been boxed in by Harvard throughout this series so far. Body check there by Jacob Wilson. Arizona State trying to get out on the front foot here, trailing again 1-0. Long pass along the right wing for the Sun Devils. Walker, the leading scorer in the nation, 11 goals to his credit, and his intended receiver on the pass denied. That was Gavido Janssens, who got leveled out at the blue line. This game turned physical in the third period last night, Tim, and it's carried on.
Yeah, so far, predominantly it's been Arizona State doing the checking, and this time it's Justin Zito with the big hit that causes the turnover there. And Arizona State has to pick themselves off the ice now.
Cito, the product of Vancouver, Canada. Didn't see any game action last year, but that's a lively shift defensively for the Crimson again. Little drag and a shot interrupted on its way in. Ford forced out to the top of the blue paint again. Arizona State trying to flip the ice here. Up comes Maniscalco. That shot just a little bit high over the top of the cage.
A good stick from John Marino there. Deflect that over the cage.
Been so impressed with the way that Harvard has used its sticks to interrupt not just passes but shots throughout this weekend series so far. And Walker's been tortured more than just about anyone else. There's another example. Marino looked up at Fiola, the official, to see if that was going to be called a cross-check, but play on is the signal. There's a shot from the high slot. Lackey saw it clean. Trying to bat that puck out of the air. Look for a moment like it may have left the zone. Arizona State's going to hold it in. Marino went into the joust, and now Dornbach goes up ice. Crimson make a change here. Arizona State, some fresh bodies on the ice as well. A man into the mix, PJ Morocco, a first-year National Team Development Program player. Morocco chasing this play from behind, wearing number 25. Pushed from behind by the Crimson. Lackey's going to tee that puck up for Olsen. On the boards it goes. Bodies swirling again. Jake Clifford spun down. There's a wrist shot knocked down by Lackey's glove. Stick popped loose for Morocco. And on come the Crimson again. DeCord's going to watch this one. End up just short of the goal line. No icing there.
Kind of surprised they blew that off. That puck had enough seam to certainly get beyond the goal line for icing, but benefit for Harvard. Bad luck for Arizona State.
Crimson trying to work it toward the back post. Walsh, such a good control of speed, but he gave the puck away. And right back to the Crimson. It's sloppy on both ends here in the last 5 minutes or so. Teams playing with a lot of emotion and energy, but fundamentals have gone lacking.
Yeah, a couple of players going for that big hit, send a message in the early stages of this game and leaving yourself open to quick transition opportunities like this for Arizona State.
Trying a self-pass off the boards was Pashno. Harvard slowing up the attack. Floodstrand stepped over the top. Rathbone, ooh, a dangerous pass right in front of Lackey.
They're going to make it.
Adam Fox.
You're going to make a dangerous pass. That's not a bad guy to give it to. Adam Fox.
I'd say. He is so calm, so patient over the puck. There's a centering feed that spills wide. Helter-skelter pace here in the first period. 1-0 Harvard in front. Nearly a giveaway in front of the cage again. Into the corner goes Krusko. Turns, fires, up high. DeCord looked behind him again.
That definitely got deflected on the way through. I think he got a piece of it with his blocker after deflection.
Arizona State's going to pick this up momentarily. Jacob Wilson flings it as far as he can get it. The check at the blue line. Arizona State playing a lot of this period on this end of the ice. Dominic Garcia, former captain at the junior level, trying to take his game up now in his sophomore season with the Arizona State Sun Devils.
And this entire forecheck here is as a result of that Garcia backhand pass. He didn't get anything on it, and it was a turnover inside the top of the circles.
Bedini skated right around Garcia. There's a turnaround. Puck ends up in the slot, but pushed along by Arizona State. Outnumbered here, but look at Krauston. He's interfered with on his way to the cage. Delayed penalty upcoming.
What a play by Krauston. He went around two Harvard defensemen like nothing.
6:59 to go in the first period, and ASU's going on the power play for the first time when we come back to Bright Landry. Anthony Krauston skating 1-on-3, and look at this play that develops. We call that a nutmeg in soccer, right through the legs of that Harvard Crimson defender, and he's interfered with on his way in toward the goal. So Arizona State's going to go on the power play for the first time in this game.
To be Adam Bachman in the box for Arizona State on the man advantage, 20.9 success rate, middle of the pack in the NCAA. And for Harvard, penalty killing has not been one of their strong suits. They are ticking at 66% on the penalty kill, second to last in the NCAA this season.
Puck all the way back down to DeCord's lap. So an uphill climb again, even on the man advantage for Arizona State. picked up some power plays late in yesterday's game. They went 0 for 3 on the man advantage in the third period. It's got a little sloppy down the stretch. Ted Donato, now in his 15th season at the helm for Harvard, said, "We gave away too many penalties late in that game and did just enough to keep that door ajar for Arizona State to have some belief." But Zerder Gossage, who put that game away on his own, incredible play on a breakaway, forehand to backhand. Arizona State driving forward. Gruber circles around. Nobody in the slot. Walker, tip pass out to the point. An eye on Walker wearing number 7. Second most points in the country. He's got 17 in total, but Arizona State lost the zone. And you'll see Walker a lot banging that stick on the ice. He likes the offense to work quickly. He wants to get touches every time down the ice.
So far for Arizona State, they've been very high on their cycle. Haven't been able to get a clean entry into the zone, and that's what's going to keep happening here. They need to dump that puck in, work beyond Lackey, win those puck battles in the next 38 seconds, and try to generate some offense. Harvard's been very aggressive, attacking the Arizona State forwards as they cross the blue line. That's what's resulted in 3 dumps so far.
Here comes another dump and skate for Arizona State. Swinging away behind the goal. Marino again, joined by Rathbone. Nothing developing yet for Arizona State, down to its last 12 seconds on the power play.
That's a little bit better, though. You get some bodies in close to the net. Just a bad bounce resulted in a loose puck for an easy clearance.
Crash someone in back post. That's Mario Lemieux's son, Austin. Shot deflected in the slot. Morocco ended up on the ice again. Less than 5 minutes to play here in the opening period. Louis Zerder Gossage picks up his second goal in as many games, and we've got an icing on this end. Clifford can't believe it.
Yeah, Clifford was pretty much stride for stride there with Olsen on the race to the faceoff dot, and we'll give the tie to the man wearing white and crimson in this one. But pretty ineffective power play for Arizona State, and if you're Harvard, you can take some momentum out of that. Just killed off the first penalty kill of the game. Now you want to try to go add another goal.
ASU now just 1 for 7 on the power play this weekend. Seemingly nothing going right for the Sun Devils. Jordan Sandu got spilled over, and we're going to have another penalty against Harvard. Sun Devil power play coming back when we return. Just moments after Adam Bachman left the Harvard box, he's replaced by Justin Zito after this boarding.
That's a tough call for Justin Zito. He's going in shoulder to shoulder, but at the last second, Pashnuk turns to his right and goes face first and in the board. It's one of those plays you want to try to wrap up the defenseman instead of going straight through with the shoulder. You avoid the boarding call, and Arizona State gets another opportunity on the man advantage.
So what did the Sun Devils learn from their first empty trip on the man advantage? Let's find out. Walker in the slot. They've got a screener up front as well. That's Tyler Bush. First line forwards out there. Trying to level this game. One-timer for Gruber. That's stopped by Olsen. Trying to chip it along to Floodstrand. It's a race for the puck. Pashnuk just barely caught up.
That's a great play by Olsen, both on the block and then to clear it as well.
Walker trying to get off the wrister, and again, a Crimson defender gets in the way. This time it's Adam Fox, one of the best offensive defenders in the country, and he just blocked another pass.
Huge active stick right there, or else that's an easy one-timer for Bush.
Hobie Baker hopeful. Adam Fox, we'll see. Walker tees it up, and Lackey makes the save.
That's a dangerous spot for Johnny Walker inside the top of the circles there. Pretty much uncontested. He couldn't get the one-timer off, so he had to corral that loose puck and turn and shoot. And a good read by Lackey at the top of his crease.
Johnny Walker so smooth over this ice over the last 24 games dating back to last season. He's tallied 23 goals. He's gone quiet the last 4 games now, during a 2-game sweep over Michigan State last weekend down in the desert. Walker went scoreless, didn't tally a single assist. Same story last night.
If you're Arizona,
goal scored by Phillips Bunces.
My apologies there, Kevin. If you're Arizona State, you really need to develop that secondary scoring as well. Walker, as talented as he is, he cannot be your only option. This can't be a one-line team, especially as the program continues to grow. They've had some great wins so far this season, including over Penn State. And their only losses to ranked teams outside of last night against Harvard, but you can't rely solely on Walker.
Gotta think Bush might be one of those options on that first line as well. He was the man that faced the media after last night's game. To the credit of the Sun Devils, they made no excuses. Said that coming into the second period, it was just about ramping up the intensity. No technical changes, no tactical changes. Just needed more want to. Sandu chipping away. Puck knocked down at the blue line, but Harvard clears it away.
Very active sticks here, Harvard defensively, not allowing clear passing lanes, especially across the zone. That's really stifled Arizona State's power play.
Harvard penalty is over. Arizona State now 0 for 2 on the man advantage. Once again being outshot by the Crimson. Here's a costly giveaway. Austin, who in the area of really a penalty shot a couple minutes ago, drew the penalty instead, and it's good news for the Crimson, who burned it off easily the first time around. Fox dances into the corner, lost the handle. Holman feeds out in front, and Clifford lost his edge.
That pass was in his skates, or else that's a bang-in one-timer.
One-timer, they score! Sun Devils finally cash in. It's Dylan Holman. The Canadian senior levels this game. ASU 1, Harvard 1.
That first pass was in the skates of its intended target, and the second one was right on the stick of Dylan Holman in the slot. Nothing Lackey could do there. That shot is by him before he can even react. It's so close inside the crease, and it's a great little 1-2 there from the Sun Devils. And they have had a much better first period so far than they did last night.
7th goal this year for Holman. And boy, did the Sun Devils and their fans need that. We heard them chanting just underneath our cameras, ASU. A lot of maroon and gold in the stands tonight. So we're back to square one. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the first period. I'm Kevin Gale, joined by Tim Culverhouse. We thank you for tuning in to the Ivy League on ESPN. Come on, boys, is the call from downstairs. Harvard trying to get back on the front foot. Gregoire slaps it as far down the ice as he can get it. It's a cord, come out to play it. Beeline pass to the leading scorer, Walker. He's brave in that regard to come out of his goal over and over again. Like a Ron Hextall or a Tom Brasso.
Martin Brodeur, probably the best ever. They created a rule in the NHL specifically to deter him, and the core looks very comfortable with that puck on his stick.
Around the cage go the Crimson. Feed in front. Denied by Decord. Down to the final minute here in the first period. Arm up for icing, and actually it looks like our two linesmen couldn't decide. One waved it off, one said icing. So see where the faceoff comes next.
I thought Croston got over center ice before, or over the red line, I should say, before that pass was, that dump in was made, and I think that's what they're all deciding over there on the far side, or the near side.
You see Decord, first drafted player in ASU Division I history. In fact, committed to this program before they had even reached Division I.
I think it's the right call to face off at center ice.
After that inadvertent whistle, they're going to go to center ice. Arizona State wins a draw. Been tough to do against Harvard. Season long, the best grouping in the nation when it comes to winning at the faceoff dot. Here's a one-timing feed. Human Zees never got a shot through clean.
Another block out front by Harvard.
Croston fell down to one knee. Drury trying to punch it up the boards. He watches that one wide. Bachman got leveled. It's right back up. Fresh layer of ice on his backside. Arizona State, though, showing some momentum here in the closing seconds of the first period. Fresh off that goal. Croston, wrap around, that missed. Human Zees was waiting as well. Another shot comes in, that flutters up high. Off the top of the glass, it's a shooting gallery now. Lackey didn't see it, and the horn sounds. First period comes to an end, and all of a sudden, Arizona State looks like the stronger team.
That was a big save by Lackey right there at the end as well. You mentioned he didn't see it, just kind of hit him. And he was able to get just enough of it, keep this a 1-1 game. Remember that one mark it down in the books for the second
Goals
period.
by Zerder, Gossage, and Holman take us to the first intermission. Stay with us.
At number 1, field hockey, with Harvard holding a 3-1 lead.
Harvard trying to complete a 2-game sweep of Arizona State, but after one period here on Saturday night, it's Crimson 1 and the Sun Devils 1. Welcome you back inside the broadcast booth alongside Tim Culverhouse. I'm Kevin Gale, and Arizona State was desperate to get off to a better start tonight. Unfortunately for the Sun Devils, that Harvard power play just keeps on clipping, now 3 for 5 this weekend.
And so far for Harvard, they were able to weather the Arizona State penalty kill. Very aggressive. Zerder Gossage gets the beneficial goal off the skate there, and you're able to keep going on that power play streak. And Arizona State had some big hits to start, and they thought that might get some momentum going. And instead, Harvard rode the storm until Arizona State tied it up late in the first.
It took a while, but Dylan Holman cashed in with about 2 minutes left in the opening period on a great find from Anthony Croston. That leveled this game at 1 apiece. If not for that turnaround and fire by Arizona State, you wonder what it would have taken in the locker room to get this team engaged. They were able to generate more shots in the first period today than they were yesterday. They had just 2 shots before the first intermission on Friday, and there you see a relatively even game so far, and we'll see what Ted Donato and crew have in store for the second period.
And one thing I think he does have to say in the locker room he's really happy about is how well Harvard is doing getting those shooting lanes. 6 block shots for the Crimson after the first period. Arizona State did have some dangerous opportunities in close, but Harvard defenseman, especially Adam Fox, with his stick and his body, getting in the way of shots in front of Lackey.
I should mention that Michael Lackey got caught up in a collision early in the first period. It looked for a moment that he was kicking those legs back and forth, but so far so good for the Washington, D.C. native, who is back out there looking strong in net again. 1-1 the score as we move on to the second period here at the Bright Landry Hockey Center in Cambridge. Ted Donato has been at the helm of this program now for 2 decades. Looks up and down the hallways of this facility, sees trophies and plaques and the faces of former Crimson that went on to the NHL. In fact, he played against Austin Lemieux's father. That's right, Mario Lemieux, a former rival of Ted Donato in the NHL when he played with the Boston Bruins. And now here his son is during a first-year campaign with Arizona State. The hockey world is a small one. We learned that over and over again.
Donato seeing pictures of himself, his sons in the hallways here as well. It's quite a tradition of Massachusetts hockey here in Cambridge for the Donato family.
Ryan Donato, of course, now playing in the Boston Bruins system. Jack Donato still here on the team in Cambridge. Donato's already got a goal to his credit so far this year. Opening minute of the second period. Arizona State with a good find in front of goal. Lackey got the leg extended, and he got tied up in front again. Looked like Holman slid in front. He was the goal scorer in the first.
Yeah, Holman got bumped down from behind. Didn't have the impetus pushed into the net on Lackey in that instance, but good to see Lackey pop right back up.
Crimson on the attack to Cord. Pops that one into the high glass. Gossage, one of the co-captains, spilled down by Bush. Got his paw extended and pulled down the goal score. Double sevens out to the blue line. Tried to fire a high pass to Gregoire. He knocked it down out of the air, but Wilson collects. And Arizona State skates away.
Adam Fox pinching in very down low, jumping up in the play. He's such an impressive prospect for this Harvard squad. Now part of the Carolina system after his rights were traded from Calgary, part of the Dougie Hamilton and Noah Hannafin trade. He really kind of broke out in terms of the national audience last year at the World Junior Championship, where he was an assistant captain for Team USA, and such a very talented young man who looks like he could be making his way into the NHL soon after his Harvard career finishes up.
And you mentioned those Calgary Flames. They have the rights to Demetrius Kumanzis, who's playing on the third line tonight at right wing for the Sun Devils. He was the first line center during that 4-1 loss last night, and Greg Powers decided to make a couple key changes in his first 3 lines. Most notably, he moved Brett Gruber up from the second line to center the first line, playing alongside Johnny Walker, and certainly his first line forwards have generated more shots tonight. Herder Gossage staying patient here. Gregoire first that puck. Rusko circles around. And he was upended from behind, but a penalty was spotted. And Harvard's going back on the power play. This is bad news for the Sun Devils.
I think it was Brinson Pashnik. A little too active on that stick. Going up against Krusko at the top of the blue line. And yep, it's going to be that little hook right there on the stick. The first one was okay. It was the second motion where he got an awful lot on that. And that's going to see another power play opportunity for Harvard. And have to be taking a couple of big gulps on that Arizona State bench. You have a very dangerous and potent man advantage coming out once again.
Pashnik, a scorer last weekend. He'll sit for 2 minutes. Harvard 1 for 1 on the power play tonight.
Took them a little while to get going on that first power play, Kevin, but once they did, it was a clinic on how to run a man advantage.
All the way down the ice it goes for Jared Gorley. Flames fan by birth. With Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Shutdown D-man who's played well so far this year. Arizona State trying to shut down this power play. So far so good. Drury finally works it around. Harvard trying to set up on the point. That's Fox. Looked on the one-timer to Walsh. Back over to Fox, just out of his reach. Dornbach, the youngster, on this man advantage squad. With the circle goes Fox. Dornbach with some room, spills it wide. Drury may have gotten a piece.
This stick was tied up just enough by Wilson there to prevent that tip in. Good read, a good pass from Fox. Just couldn't get enough on the centering pass.
Crimson are going to have to leave the zone here. Fox just trying to stay upright against Pashnik, the other Pashnik. Chance developing to the back post, and it just hopped off the stick of Adam Fox. DeCord stays alive, gets back on his feet.
He's going to see that one later.
Down to the last 30 seconds of the power play. Another good chance. DeCord interrupts Fox and dives on top of the puck. Fox a little bit slow to get up here, more frustrated than anything. His eyes must have been wide as saucers on a couple of those chances.
It took Harvard 45 seconds to get inside the zone on their power play, but when they did, you see that puck movement back and forth across the zone, getting the points involved as well, and they keep creeping in, forcing Arizona State's box to become even smaller on the PK. And a very dangerous opportunity, but DeCord there once again to answer the bill.
Harvard loves to move the puck quickly on the power play. They recover pucks well. It's not about getting one shot and out. They crash the goal so well as a unit. They stay patient on this end of the ice as Badini flipped that puck out of the air, and Harvard's going to have to exit the zone again.
Good secondary clearance there by Maniscalco. That first one tipped off a Harvard forward on the power play, and he was able to clear it out on the second chance after he gloved it down.
And Scalzo knows Fox pretty well. They played together. U.S. National Team Development Program Junior Squad during the 2015-16 campaign. Here they are reunited in Division I. Penalty is over. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey here with less than 16 minutes to go in the second period. We'll get a stoppage along the blue line.
Pashnik almost snuck out behind there after he got out of the box. There was an opportunity. He was skating perpendicular to the blue line, and the pass just couldn't get on his stick, or else he would have had a clean opportunity untouched onto Lackey. But a good defensive play by Harvard to prevent the breakaway and keep us at 1.
Saw a similar story last night for Louis Herder Gossage. A room service hop out of the box. Puck was waiting for him just outside the blue line, and I asked him after the game, how good does that feel? And he said, it's what every scorer dreams of. Step out of the sin bin and you're on your way to goal. Flushed out of the air by Lackey, and I should give credit to Herder Gossage. He made a great forehand to backhand move, and I said, made a lot of dekes there. Do you know how the puck went in? And he said, I'll be honest, I don't even know. At the end of that play, I was so close to DeCord, I was just smashing away at the puck, and the rest is history.
Talented and humble.
Gotta love to see that from one of your co-captains. So we get a face-off just in front of Michael Lackey here. 1-1 the score. The second period alongside Tim Culverhouse. I'm Kevin Gale. Thanks to you for tuning in to the Ivy League on ESPN. Quick face-off win and a shot. Walker hanging around looking for a second opportunity. Crimson fire it up the ice. It's a race into the corner. Gregoire went out of his way to interrupt Maniscalco.
I'm not surprised that wasn't interference because he clearly broke his, line of where he was skating and have a hand pass against Walker, but certainly went out of his way to create a little bit of interference there after I thought there may have been an icing, and it looks like we may have just had a misconduct called against Arizona State.
Indeed, that is going to be the call. So this is something we saw a couple times last night. Not one, but two misconduct penalties. One of them went against Anthony Croston, a 10-minute misconduct penalty. There was also a 2-minute unsportsmanlike against Johnny Walker. So you saw some of that frustration bubble over for Arizona State on the wrong side of a 4-1 loss, and this is going to be another costly 2 minutes.
And that was Tyler Bush who's going to get the unsportsmanlike conduct on that one. That's a tough one as well. One of your captains on this Arizona State squad, your coach Greg Powers, you want to see somebody like that bite his lip after a hand pass. Didn't look like there was anything really controversial on that stoppage there, but whatever it is, he gets whistled for it, and looks like they just took the penalty off the clock.
It'll be a 10-minute misconduct again for Arizona State. Second day in a row.
I guess if you're an Arizona State fan, most importantly, not sending a player to the box for a penalty kill. You still skate 5-on-5, just essentially a 10-minute breather for Bush.
That's a decision by one of our referees to say, let's settle down the talking and the jawing, and we're going to get an interference penalty here against Harvard. So after all that, it looked like Harvard was going to go on the power play. They take the 2 minutes off the board. It's a 10-minute misconduct, and now somehow, someway, it's going to be 5-on-4 for Arizona State. This couldn't have gone much better with Riley Walsh going to the box.
Yeah, Walsh got caught up in that no man's land. He wanted to pinch, and then once that puck was chipped past him, he didn't have much of a choice unless he wanted to prevent the 2-on-1 other than to body the Arizona State forward into the bench. And if you look up the video definition of interference, that is exactly what you're looking for.
Go get us a goal. That was the message from Greg Powers to his power play unit. There's a lot of faith in this group, converting better than 20% entering this weekend, which typically over the course of a long season sounds pretty good until you see that Harvard is batting .430 on the power play so far this year.
Tough start here for the Sun Devils. Their first pass across the blue line was picked off by Jack Drury, and then the second one, the wrap around the net, gets intercepted by Harvard, and 2 easy clearances. 30 seconds in, Arizona State really hasn't done much in this man advantage.
Saw the nice stress pass from DeCord. Walker got tied up on the backhand. Now looking for a target in front, lost the puck again.
Walker had to receive that pass on the backhand. He was wide open in the slot. He's on the forehand there. It's an easy opportunity.
Sides here, and for another connection at the back post. Getting right through there was Vincent Pashnuk. Walker fires it down low, calls for the puck right back. Gruber thinks, gives it to the leading scorer in the NCAA. Pashnuk turns and fires, and Harvard takes it back the other way. Here's a race for the puck. A dive by Pashnuk, and the puck goes into the Harvard bench.
And that's a huge play by Pashnuk. He was near the end of his shift. Puck jumps over his stick at the opposing blue line, and if he doesn't deflect this into the bench, that looks like it's going to be a wide open opportunity for Baker Shore on a breakaway, uncontested from just beyond the red line.
Baker Shore, the first year, nearly had his own dream come true. Surtur Gasic yesterday scored against the National Team Development Program in his first ever time suiting up in a Harvard sweater, and then scored his first D1 goal against Dartmouth in the second game of the year. So a great debut for the product of Englewood, Colorado.
Very discombobulated power play here. Harvard's been aggressive to Arizona State, crossing the defensive blue line. It hasn't resulted in much.
You saw right there, it takes a great move by Maniscalco just to skate it into the neutral zone. Suffocating defense here on the penalty kill for Harvard. And another power play goes begging for Arizona State.
forget as well, Tyler Bush in the box for the next about 7.5 minutes. So Arizona State will be playing without their first line left wing during that time frame. He would have been helpful on the power play.
Bush, the assist leader on this team. Ashnuk trying to trigger some offense off the outside of the post, and the net nearly came off its moorings. 12:37 to go here in the second. Harvard 1, Arizona State 1. They say defense wins championships, but lucky for the Harvard Crimson, their defensemen are pretty offensive as well.
Adam Fox leading the way, the leading scorer among defensemen in NCAA, along with Cale Makar at UMass Amherst. And if you have these offensive defensemen, especially with the success rate of your power play here, Kevin, they're going to be racking up points, and that's exactly what Harvard's done so far. And next time they do get a man advantage, look for them to jump up once again.
What a start for the UMass Minutemen this season, huh? They look like one of the best teams in New England and beyond. Get an icing here, and this will bring the face-off all the way back down.
Knocked off Providence in a series sweep last weekend, or a couple weekends ago now at this point, and Cale Makar, the Colorado Avalanche prospect, I don't have a vote in the Hobie Baker, but he would certainly be up there. How talented of a young man he is for that squad.
Program boosting win over a team that's just a couple years off a national championship. Providence Friars took home that Frozen Four title at TD Garden right down the road in Boston. Up come the Crimson. Getting the breaks quickly was Bedini. Flips it across ice to Rathbone, who elevates a shot, but DeCord stops it.
Most importantly there as well, no rebound. There were two Harvard Crimson crashing the net hard, looking for that loose puck, but DeCord swallows it up inside the pads and inside the maroon jersey as well, right on the Sun Devil Trident logo.
Rathbone, one of those defensemen for the Crimson, averaging better than 5 points per game, as we just mentioned. It's really an outstanding rate of production. The reasons why their power play has been so strong as well. Defenseman can really snipe some shots from the blue line. Gregoire engaged in a battle with Jacob Wilson. Finished his freshman season with 12 points last year. And the young players that have signed on the dotted line with the Sun Devils, really the first-year players in their program this year, the first full recruiting class for Greg Powers. They've gone from associate members at the Division I level and climbed to full independent status and play a full schedule. Don't forget they are eligible to go to the NCAA tournament, but it would take an at-large bid from the committee, which is tough to handle, especially with their strength of schedule. Numbers for the Crimson. Here's the shot. DeCord made a glove save. Colton Kerfoot kept it all the way, and he was stoned by one of the best keepers in the country.
Sometimes you kind of hate to have all that much time on a 2-on-0. You're thinking about a lot of different things, and like the aggressiveness of Colton Kerfoot, almost like his brother Alex now for the Colorado Avalanche, another Harvard grad. But instead of going for that one-timer to Floodstrain, he goes for the quick wrist shot, trying to go over the glove, and DeCord stands strong.
You mentioned Alex, and what an outstanding debut he had. Colorado Avalanche didn't take him long during his first professional season to tally a goal and put him on a line with Matt Duchesne. So what a way to make your debut at the highest level of the sport. Found this interesting as well. Their father, Greg Kerfoot, majority owner of Vancouver Whitecaps FC in MLS, Major League Soccer. The league expanding further and further into Canada. To the neutral zone it goes. Crimson had a 1-0 lead early on a second goal in as many days by Zerder Gossage, but Holman had an answer late in the first period for Arizona State. Lively turnout for the Sun Devil fans. They've been electric behind that bench on the near side. Creeping in, there's a shot that rolls through blue painted area just in front of Lackey.
And Escalso had crept in from that right defense opportunity and just couldn't get the puck to him.
Offsides go the Crimson here. Fox a little bit quick into the zone, and we're talking about Major League Soccer. He tried to get that pass to himself and keep the rush alive.
That was a good stick there by Brinson Pashnuk at the blue line. Didn't allow Fox to get in past him, and kind of highlight just the offensive abilities of Adam Fox leading the rush 3-on-2. Just had it deflected off his stick enough to prevent the odd man opportunity inside the offensive zone.
Talking a lot about D-men that can score. Pashnuk Another example. Brinson picks up his 4th assist of the year last night on the lone goal for the Sun Devils. We're down to the last 10 minutes here in the second period. Arizona State trying to avoid a 2-game sweep on this long cross-country trip. Murphy behind the cage. Sandu helped dislodge the puck. Right back on the turn. Murphy dislodged as he went through the circle. Now Zito, did he get interfered with? Yes, the arm is up behind the play. Delayed penalty. Morocco touches, and we go to break. Another power play coming up for Harvard in a tie game. 1-1 here in the second. It's getting a little crowded in that Arizona State penalty box. 2 minutes up on the board. Jordan Sandu, first-year player for the Sun Devils, will sit. It's back on the man advantage for the Crimson, who are 1 for 3 on the power play tonight.
Sandu got flagged for the interference. Looked like it happened right in front of our broadcast booth behind the net of DeCord, and got just enough on that play. It was a great cycling shift for the third line of Harvard there. They drew the penalty, and now they give the big boys an opportunity to score on the power play, take the lead.
Well, the Sun Devils were so close to winning that draw, but here comes Zerder Gossage. Crimson set up that power play once again. It's fun sitting down with Ted Donato last year, hearing him explain so many different ways that he can work this power play. Very complimentary of the staff around him, and Rob Rassi has done, the Northeastern alum. 6th season as an assistant coach. Cue up this 5-on-4. Down go the Crimson. Fox with some room. Gives the puck off. Top of the paint. Zerder Gossage offside of the puck. Outlet coming the other way for Croston. Skated as far as he could. Crimson will slow it down through the neutral zone. Drury, one of those first years. Face-off man on this team along with Bedini. Cross-ice pass. Opened up Dornbach. Outside the circle. Top side to Fox. One-timer for Walsh off the face mask of DeCord. Threw his glove up to protect his face. And now he reaches out and pulls that away from Zerder Gossage. So, the North Andover, Massachusetts native may have gotten stung in front of some of his hometown family and friends, and he's going to check to make sure everything's looking good on that helmet.
And then right after that, Zerder Gossage right behind the net tries to go in for the wraparound. He's getting bodied off there by Maniscalco. Does look like DeCord's okay, but like you said, Kevin, that was a bomb of a one-timer from Riley Walsh at the point. And looks like DeCord's all right. He's going to shake out the cobwebs there after the one-timer.
DeCord, the son of an outstanding goaltending coach. So we learned from one of the best. He's based here in the Boston area. Located just down the road in the backyard of Merrimack College. Northeastern products on the ice here tonight. From this part of the country that's hockey crazed, and it's really starting to develop down in Arizona as well. See a lot of Sun Belt states represented on this roster. Arizona State just trying to hold off the last 10 seconds of the power play. Shot deflected in front. Jansson's got in the way.
Great block. Was not afraid to give up the body there. Now it springs a 2-on-1.
Holman from Hockey Crazed Canada, the one-time, what a stop, or did it go wide? Either way, it didn't find the net, and Lackey survives.
Unbelievable. Not sure if he does get a piece of it, but that's Brinson Pashnuk with that chance. It looked like may have got just enough of it on Lackey there.
Wow, he threw all of his body weight into that one. Look out as it ping-pongs into the Arizona State bench. Looks like everybody's okay. Greg Powers taking a look around, and in fact, they find a young fan to throw that puck to as a souvenir.
That was a breakdown defensively there for Harvard on the penalty kill. They had 4 men in front of the puck, and Arizona State was able to capitalize quickly on the 2-on-1 just as that penalty was expiring.
Crimson win another face-off. Cord stops it, flings it right around the boards to Harvard. Gorley going to work. Rusko spins out of it. Gregoire hits the brakes. Behind the cage, Zerder Gossage wearing the captain's seat. He's engaged out in front. Stuck to Jake Clifford. Our play has come to an end, but Harvard skating 5-on-5 with an advantage. Now Olsen in a foot race. Dominic Garcia gets the first touch, but the Crimson back it up.
That was good speed there from Garcia to at least pressure Olsen on that play.
Oh, nearly a giveaway on the no-look pass. Now a chance developing here. Jack Donato in on goal. And it's slowed down by DeCord.
That's a big penalty kill for Arizona State to go back a couple of minutes here, Kevin. Harvard's been so lethal on the power play just to prevent any more opportunities and any more power play goals. It's a good confidence booster for the Arizona State squad as you get another look at DeCord's save on another Donato wearing a Harvard jersey here.
A lot of Donatos. Jack and Riley Walsh, both the sons of former NHLers. Ed Donato, the head coach, played 13 years in the NHL. Last year we had Ryan Donato, of course, as well. With Ty Pelton Bice. John Bice played parts of 2 seasons with the Bruins. Riley's dad, Mike Walsh, played parts of 2 seasons with the New York Islanders. 6 minutes and change remaining here in the second period. Things have gotten very even. 1-1 the score. Donato's still out there. There's a big swing from outside the circle. And the shot is stopped off the stick of Justin Zito. Harvard 1, Arizona State 1. We'll step aside. Stay with us. This is the Ivy League on ESPN. Non-conference action this weekend between Arizona State and Harvard, but we take a look around the standings in the ECAC. Harvard actually on that second page in the next 6. There you see them off to a 1-2-2 start. In the ECAC, they were picked to finish 5th overall.
Princeton, Quinnipiac, RPI really getting out to those hot starts to start the season in ECAC play. Things will really start to heat up once we get back from Thanksgiving, and we'll see those playoff seedings make their way for the ECAC tournament.
So far, so good with the Crimson stepping out of conference. 3 goals better than the Sun Devils yesterday. Knotted up 1-1 here in the second period. Good head of steam here for Kuman Zeese. Shifted off that first line. He can make some hay here on line 2. Good stop out at the point. Big drive comes in wide. Brinson Pashnuk took a knee as he uncorked a big shot. Brinson back the other way. The captain sends it off target, but a delayed penalty coming up here. Big check by Maniscalco. Puck popped over the top of the net, and play comes to an end. We'll have another Sun Devil going to the box. It'll be the 4th power play tonight for Harvard.
It looks like it's going to be Kuman Zeese on the back check, who gets flagged for that one after a great couple of moves there from Michael Floodstrand. Goes right into this big hit by Maniscalco, who rumbled a couple of panes of glass on the far side of the ice after that one.
Kuman Zeese not happy with that call. Playing alongside the assistant captain, Anthony Croston and Dylan Holman. Goal scorer in this game. Bush thrown out of the face-off circle, or no, they're going to slide him back around.
Misconduct as well.
Johnny Walker entering the box for Arizona State. He's the man sitting down. So we'll try to get clarification. But the leading scorer in the NCAA is seated in the penalty box for Arizona State. And now we're going to get another penalty. 5-on-3 up coming for Harvard.
Actually, I think they may even be able to get Fox here for a dive.
Oh boy. We saw this yesterday.
Take a look at the replay.
Oh yeah, some embellishment there.
As a hockey fan, I've always struggled to comprehend how something can both be a penalty and a dive at the same time. They've since reworded it to embellishment, so I will say that. That was certainly an embellishment there from Fox, but you can never understand how you can classify something as a dive first and then also have a penalty. And on that play, the entire Arizona State bench jumped off their seats. They saw it immediately. That was right in front of the Harvard logo in front of their bench, and they were able to pick that one out. The official saw it as well and flagged it. So it looks like we're going to have some 4-on-3 hockey here, Kevin.
Oh, very interesting, because Arizona State saw a similar call go against Johnny Walker yesterday. So they've become experts on this unsportsmanlike embellishment rule is, let's see, we've got 3 Sun Devils in the box now, so a whole lot going on, and trying to do some bookkeeping here to figure out what all has transpired. It is going to be 2 minutes for tripping against Brett Gruber. And it appears that Fox will sit for the unsportsmanlike. Never got confirmation on why Johnny Walker was sent to the penalty box.
A 4-on-3 here now for Harvard and Arizona State. And Harvard's still on the advantage. This isn't really something you practice that much, but a lot of open ice for Harvard here.
Oh, like it's actually going to be 5-on-4.
Thank you, my apologies.
So after all is said and done, Arizona State is listed on the power play. So Kuman Zeese was given a 2-minute penalty plus a 10-minute misconduct, so he will sit the full 10 minutes. Johnny Walker serving that 2-minute penalty on top of the 10-minute for Kuman Zeese. So thanks to our crew for getting all that sorted out. Look like much of a power play right now for Arizona State, but actually it's going to be 5-on-4 in favor of Harvard, so it's not reflected on the board upstairs. And try to stay with us. A lot going on, and a chance for Bush, stopped by Lackey.
Bush just had to go too far to his left on that play. Not much of an angle. Lackey was able to cut it off well.
Pressure comes from the backside. Zerder Gossage forks that along. Bush trying to elevate his game here tonight. He was so frustrated. A slow start on Friday night in the first 20 minutes. Turn and fire. What a tee shot there for Zerder Gossage in front. I'm not sure how Dornbach found him on a no-look pass, spinorama.
We were talking about how humble he was after the game and how he scored that play. As soon as Zerder Gossage shoots this, he gives the, oh no, I had a wide open man right in front there. That was Drury over to the left of DeCord, and we found him there. Would have been an easier opportunity, but still a good shot from the slot nonetheless.
Things have deteriorated here in the second period. We're still knotted up at 1 apiece. A physical, emotional series so far as Walsh uncorked the biggest shot of the night. Couldn't put it on target. Ford sliding side to side, keeping a close eye on these Crimson. Arizona State releases a man from that crowded penalty box.
That was Johnny Walker. He was looking for the giveaway or the breakaway pass there.
You can always hear him slapping that stick on the ice. Wilson pawed that down, turns and finds Holman, but only momentarily. Now a chance, Floodstrand back skating, sends a pass that's clubbed up into the ceiling and out of play. Well, things have gotten a little dicey down here in front of DeCord. He's facing more and more shots as the game goes on. Harvard now out shooting the Sun Devils 21-13.
Looks like Fox and Gruber are out of the box as well. So just Kuman Zeese left in the sin bin for either team. He'll sit in there for the 10-minute misconduct. But back to 5-on-5 play as well. The momentum and the pace of this game, Kevin, really kind of grinded to a halt with all these penalties of late. And especially Harvard on the power play. You think if it's such a weapon, not much going their past couple opportunities.
No scoring so far here in the second period. Arizona State tied it up at 1 apiece late in the first frame. Can they do it again? Take their first lead this weekend. Walker goes cross ice. Nice find off the wall. Gruber finds back post. Another shot deflected. Fluttering puck ends up in the low corner. Fox tried to work himself out of the phone booth, but Dini got stopped. Sun Devils trying to get numbers up ice. This one cleared all the way down. Ashnook brings a pass to Bush. Dornbach popped it free. Bush through center ice. Picked up on the backhand. It's in Ashnook. Shepherds it along. Walker stalking in front. Swinging away at that puck. Slides underneath the stick of R.J. Murphy, who's out there now. Down to the last 2 minutes here in the second period. Stilted pace, as you said, and we get another check here. Croston thrown into the glass. Puck bounces free. Just for a moment. Harvard works it out of the zone. Trying to get numbers up ice. Work a line change here instead. Unsis. Lost track of that puck. Allenson flings it off the glass. Give and go for the Crimson. Gregoire stops, fires in front. Zerder Gossage delayed by Janssens on the doorstep.
Yeah, I got a piece of him, almost deflected back towards the net.
Gregoire trying to thread the needle again. Bloodstrand knocks the stick free from Janssens. Gave him just enough time to feed. Zerder Gossage in front for the goal. The puck just barely snuck in across the goal line, but Harvard's got the lead again, 2-1 in the second.
I think that was actually the second opportunity for Zerder Gossage out front. The first one you're going to see here, gets a piece of the post, and he finds it again and goes between the wickets of the goalie, Decord, and that's a tough luck play for Decord. He's played so well. First one hits the post, then he loses track of it, and Zerder Gossage, Johnny on the spot with his second goal of the game, and he keeps putting the puck in the back of the net here, Kevin.
This kid from Quebec is having one heck of a weekend as you take another look here. Just tucks that puck inside the post and launched it underneath that netting.
That's a huge goal for the Crimson, thinking pretty much 30 seconds away from going into the locker room up by a goal.
3 points last night for Zerder Gossage. 2 more goals tonight. It's a 5-point weekend. And
so
the Crimson co-captain isn't done yet. You said it. There's a rubber stick and a giveaway. Crimson with one last shot before the intermission. Numbers in front. Fox holds and misses.
Decord never saw that.
Horn sounds and the second period is over. As we get some pushing and shoving after the period ends. I think Jack Drury got dragged down to the ice and he came up pushing and shoving. So we go to the second intermission. Harvard leads again 2-1. Stay with us in Cambridge. 2-1 the score after 2 periods. We welcome you back inside the broadcast booth. That's Tim Culverhouse. I'm Kevin Gale. And Tim, there wasn't a lot of pace in that second period, a whole lot of penalties. We had a baker's dozen in the penalty box last night, already 11 penalties more this evening.
No, you mentioned it here, Kevin. They've really slowed down the flow of this second period. Harvard actually outshot Arizona State 11-4 in that second frame. Got the late goal from Louis Zerder Gossage to go ahead 2-1. But you mentioned all the penalties. It really kind of takes away between what both teams want to do offensively. Harvard on the power play, usually so deadly, really kind of slowed it down in that second period. And Arizona State now just a shot away from tying this one up. And they kind of have to feel like they've been snake bit after a couple of huge saves by Lackey in that second period.
Lackey went through long stretches early in the game yesterday where he didn't see a lot of shots, and sometimes it takes a lot of focus to stay locked in when the action's being played on the other end of the ice. Not the story tonight. He's got 12 saves. You mentioned just 4 shots in that period. He stayed busy as Zerder Gossage picked up his second goal of the game. He's now got 5 points this weekend. And to take a look at the game stats side by side, another empty night so far for Arizona State on the power play. Harvard 1 for 4, and we said coming into this weekend that special teams would be the story, and the Crimson have been the better team with the man advantage.
And so far, Arizona State, you have to take some positives out of it. You're 3 for 4 on a penalty kill tonight after giving up 2 power play goals last night as well. But you can't keep going to the box. You cannot keep giving opportunities to such a talented squad on the power play. Thought we may have seen some penalties come out at the end of that second period as well. Looks like we do have some men in the box. We'll get the official wording on them, but actually that may just be the holdover from the misconduct, now that I think about it, for Kumansis. So I guess after all that, we're going to stay 5-on-5.
A lot of bookkeeping in the second period just to keep all those penalties straight for both the Crimson and the Sun Devils. Greg Powers, head coach for Arizona State, said before this series his team can't afford to make mistakes. against this extremely talented defensive line group. Or the Harvard Crimson just cashing in over and over again on the point sheet. But the junior forward, Zerder Kosic, has done most of the heavy lifting tonight.
This is an Arizona State squad. Knocked off the likes of Penn State, Michigan State, Alaska Fairbanks, some very talented teams so far this year. Only lost by a goal to Ohio State, the #1 team in the nation at that point. So they certainly have the ability to do it. It's a matter of if they can in this third period.
Playing this weekend for the first time ever as a ranked team. They picked up the number 18 ranking earlier this week from the coaches poll. Greg Powers said simply, "Our players didn't come here to tell their grandkids someday about being the 18th best team in the country. This is just another step on the ladder to new heights that Arizona State could have only imagined just a few years ago."
And that first shift, even though it didn't really result in anything directly offensive, get the cycle going, force Harvard defensemen backs to the net and have to play from behind the net as well.
Lucky number 7, Johnny Walker, still looking for his first point on this nearly 2,000-mile trip across country. Ford takes an eye on that one. Wide all the way. Crimson trying to mount a second attack here. Just dumped in as the Crimson make a change. 23-13. They've been out shooting the Sun Devils again. Hard contact there. Walker through his shoulder. Walsh bounces it off the foot of Kerfoot, who got crunched against the boards. Boy, Bush has been a man possessed out there early in the third period.
He had 10 minutes to think about it as well in that second as he served the misconduct. So expect a lot of jump from him in this third period.
You mentioned that victory over Ohio State. It's actually nearly the intended target of Tyler Bush, who was committed to Ohio State originally. Reopened his recruitment and became one of the huge pieces for Arizona State's rebuilding effort. Lemieux fires it around. Shot comes in wildly. Knocked off his edge was Morocco. And now Shore with a head of steam. Up the right wing he goes, trying to sidestep some trouble. Spinning a fire deep in by Colton Kerfoot.
Harvard so far offensively this period, just 2 weak dump-ins here. It's been all Arizona State first 3 minutes.
Late joining the play, the trailer uncorked a big shot. Sandu never got it to the cage. Morocco threw it right into the legs of Donato. Rathbone engaged along the boards. Stuck there by Lemieux. Stick is loose. It comes. Lemieux back over the top. There's a backhand chance and stop by DeCord. More pushing and shoving after the play. That time, like Bachman, got knocked around by Jared Gorley. Take another look.
There you have that unfolding in front of that, and a couple more shoves thrown behind the net as well as Gorley got involved. And a lot of bad blood starting to boil up between these two squads. Head coach Greg Powers taking a look at things over on his end, and looks like we may have the penalty box door opening, and we will.
Yet again, we're going to have as many penalties as we did last night. And both coaches said we have got to find better ways to stay out of the box. So for the moment, it's Jared Gorley sitting in the box for Arizona State. And on the other side, it's going to be Jack Donato. He was the one that got tied up behind the cage. So it was that extracurricular activity that cost both players 2 minutes. So we'll get some 4-on-4 hockey here with 16:41 to go in the third period. Arizona State wins the draw, and they want to show off some speed here, 4-on-4. Holman, the goal scorer tonight, left the puck behind him.
Great stick poke check that time by Rathbone.
It's Rathbone on the go now. Face it off quickly. Back out of the zone. Fox backing it up. Expect some end-to-end hockey here. A lot of shots blocked and deflected by the Crimson tonight. I think the extra real estate on the ice could potentially help Arizona State. There's a feed in front, crossed and let it go through, and Lackey made the save.
Yeah, Crossan was looking for the tip there on the Maniscalco shot from the point. Couldn't get enough of it, and Lackey makes the easy save. Hits him right in the H on the logo. That's one for a goalie. If you can read that cleanly, you'll take it 100 times out of 100.
Lackey adding to his resume here. Trying to pick up another victory. And move to 3-1-2 on the campaign. Could that be enough to earn the job as Harvard starter long term? Sun Devils have to get out of the zone. Walker's been picking up a lot of ice time here. In danger of going 4 games without a point. He's been doubled a lot by the Crimson. There's a lot of defensive attention, but you got to think one of these wingers playing around him is going to find some open ice to play with. DeCord got a piece of that one.
Good job.
Battles around to the point.
Good job directing the rebound as well out of harm's way. Goes all the way to the far point.
He's like a good chess player. He's always thinking a couple moves ahead. Doesn't just make the save. He thinks about the pass. He thinks about the deflection as well. Gregoire, look what I found in the center circle. Swinging away was Krusko. Now out to the point. Big rip, redirect, and missed the target on the far side. Nice puck movement there by the Crimson. Down to the last 14 seconds of the 4-on-4. Gregoire circling around. Hoping to get that puck back. It squirts over the blue line and out. Rathbone, quick pass, up the ice. Chance developing. DeCord makes another save. Good look up the ice. And it was Flundstrand. Got the shot in quick as we get an icing. And a face-off upcoming in front of DeCord.
Arizona State got caught defensively there. They had that long shift, especially Johnny Walker. He was out there for about a minute and a half. And they had to change behind the play. And a great look, as you said there, Kevin, to spring that opportunity on the slap shot from the right circle.
Sun Devils trailing again. They have not led in this 2-game series. Bloodstrand back in, but caught an edge. Hopped alongside DeCord. Nick Garcia applied the check at the end glass. Now up it comes. Brinson Pashnuk deposited into the glass, and we get a whistle. Break time here with 13:59 to go. Harvard maintaining a 2-1 lead over the Sun Devils. Busy day in college sports. You take a look at some of those out-of-town scores in the ECAC heavyweight matchup near the top of the conference. Cornell leading late against Princeton. And here's the most important score of the day for Crimson fans. The game goes to Harvard. 45-27 winners today in the 135th meeting. It was played at Fenway Park, and history this afternoon. It was actually the first time, Tim, that Harvard met Yale outside of the Yale Bowl or Harvard Stadium since 1891. That game was played in Springfield, Mass. Ever since then, it's been played on both of those great campuses, and today in front of a big crowd at Fenway. Man, what a scene. I was lucky enough to be there myself. Crimson fans had a lot to celebrate. They pulled away late. Tom Stewart threw 3 touchdown passes. He was taken off the field with an injury late. Certainly wish him the very best, but you can look back on a memorable win. 17 points in the 4th quarter to put away the Bulldogs.
Mentioned memorable venues, our Yale Bowl, Harvard Stadium right up there as well. Opportunity for the Sun Devils. Hits the post.
Oh boy, that got past Lackey. Stays out of the net, deflected, and the 5-hole closed up by Mike Lackey. Oh boy, he's facing a whole lot of shots here. Another redirect. Bush trying to turn it around. He got engaged by Bachman, who tossed him down in the slot.
And Gruber had both of those opportunities for Arizona State. He hits the crossbar on that rip of a snapshot from the top of the slot, and then he comes back on that deflection, and Lackey has to go from upright down to the butterfly very quickly to stop that deflection. He's pretty frustrated over there on the Arizona State bench, and Harvard dodges the bullet there.
Arizona State playing from behind again, but a lot more threatening tonight than they were on Friday. In fact, it didn't even feel as close as 4-1 for long stretches of that game. It was centering feed that got underneath the leg of DeCord, went around the cage. Now a breakout for the Sun Devils. They've got some numbers if they hurry. Holman throws it off the stick of Lackey. Just trying to create chances, deflections in front. Seen a couple deflected goals in this series so far for the Crimson.
It had been pretty much all Harvard for this third period, Kevin. That was the best prolonged pressure there for Arizona State.
Looks like the Sun Devils were offsides that time. Face-off will come back outside the zone.
They're going to
bring it all the way down.
Intentional one as well. Wow.
Kumanzis trying to crank up the defense here late.
He's back after his 10-minute misconduct as well.
Leaded one of the best seasons in Minnesota high school elite league history. Scored 49 points in 21 games, an Edina, Minnesota product. And a whole lot of players on this ice this weekend from Edina. The kid from North Andover, Mass, just made another save. At the very least, DeCord is padding the stats this weekend, but he'd rather be playing in front than from behind and making save after save to keep the Sun Devils within reach.
Yeah, the stats he's padding are the saves right now. He'd love to add a couple of W's in the win column, but so far only 2 goals in the game and 2/3 pretty much at this point for Arizona State, and that's not going to do it against this Harvard squad.
Coming into the weekend, DeCord led the nation in wins with 9 overall. He's played every minute in goal so far for the Sun Devils. His team wondering if he may opt for a future with the Senators once this season is done. Down to the last 12 minutes and change here in the third period. Harvard 2, Arizona State 1. Back behind the cage, a wraparound denied. On the go, it's Garcia. Tries to step around Fox, no call. Good clean check, Rathbone. Got thrown into the glass by Clifford. Her foot spins out of trouble.
That was right on the edge there for Fox of interference. That was that split second he has to make that play and play on.
Skated out of his lane and got right in front of the attacker coming his way. Now Shore off a good feed. Dumps it down for Donato. Just slid off the backside. Jacob Wilson. Dangerous feed in front, picked up by Gorley. Solid, deep, well-balanced blue line for Arizona State, but they've been tested. Walker upended. Numbers for the Crimson. Cito presses it along for R.J. Murphy, the first year from Needham, Mass. Not much comes of it. Over the logo go the Sun Devils. Gruber. Second on the team last year in points. Ooh, gets a face wash on the ice from Marino. He's been a bully this weekend, and I mean that as a compliment. Marino, one of those 6 players drafted into the NHL on this Crimson roster. On a future pro talent playing for Ted Donato. Hip check there on the slide through by Olsen. Turn, fire to Cord, pulled it down. So a chance nearly out of nowhere. Good body control on the drive to the net. And take another look here at Jack Bedini, the underclassman who tried to work it to that backhand, but there were enough Sun Devils in front.
One of the most historic sliding goals in NHL history took place in Arizona. Alex Ovechkin way back when. And it looked like Krusko was trying to imitate him a little bit there as he's down on the ice. Tried to fling that one behind his head, but couldn't get a piece of it and ended up into Cord's pads.
Is Ovechkin's Stanley Cup victory tour over yet?
No. Not until another team wins it, at least.
The defending champs from the district. Had a lot to celebrate in D.C.
Sure, Michael Lackey was happy.
Washington, D.C. native, starting in net tonight for the Crimson. He's been all over the country, went to Ann Arbor Pioneer High School in Michigan. It's down the road from the University of Michigan. Also attended Mighty Phillips Exeter Academy here in New England. And we'll go to break, 9:54 to go. 2-1 the score. Harvard still leading the Sun Devils. Ivy League fans, you can watch the Ivy League across a variety of ESPN platforms, including desktop, mobile, and tablet, as well as Apple TV and Roku. Take advantage of everything the Ancient Eight has to offer, including more than 1,000 live events and on-demand content across all 9 channels with your ESPN Plus subscription.
Follow Ivy on ESPN on Twitter as well, as that fan was definitely doing it. We brought you back from here. Face-off violation and some pleasantries exchanged on the right wing circle as well. And game's got a nice bit of nasty here so far, Kevin.
A lot of social media engagement from Sun Devil faithful as DeCord popped that up into the mesh. They were excited when Greg Powers said that the ranking didn't mean too much to his team. This was a trip that they've been billing innovation against prestige. They believe that the Arizona State dynasty is just a few years away from really breaking through. And we were talking before the game, Tim, about what the next step might be for Arizona State hockey. They do have plans to open a 5,000-seat arena on campus, due to open around November 2020 if shovels get in the ground quick enough. And of course, the next step beyond that would be to find a conference. And of course, the best 2 options you'd have to say are the NCHC, which has probably the most teams out west, based in Colorado. You think of Colorado College right away, University of Nebraska, Omaha, but the WCHA might be another good option as well.
Any opportunity for this Arizona State squad to try to limit their road trips in conference play. You want to try to make it so you're not going 2,000 miles in your independent schedule. And right now with Arizona State doing that all the time, if you can get some close road trips to Colorado College, Denver, Air Force and Atlantic hockey, but give yourself some opportunities. We're going to have a penalty called on Johnny Walker here for an elbow on Rathbone, I think. But yeah, if you can get that conference schedule going, you can look into an automatic bid to the NCAA, and you add that rink as well. They currently play at Oceanside Ice Arena down the road in Tempe. Play a couple of games as well at Gila River Arena, or the home of the Arizona Coyotes. But putting that on campus, that's going to be one of the final touches here for this squad.
Walker threw that check up high, and you saw the arm come up right away.
Get him for a board.
So 2 more minutes for a Sun Devil in the box. 9:07 remaining in the game, and more good news for the Crimson, playing on the lead. Going back to your point about some of those hockey conferences, even though Western is in the title, the WCHA is mostly teams from the old CCHA across Michigan. Former national champion Ferris State, Lake Superior State, Michigan Tech, an outstanding program in northern Michigan as well. So there'll be some tricky travel there. We've also heard Arizona State mentioned as a potential Big Ten destination. And I think that'd be exciting for any of these leagues to extend their recruiting base down into the fertile desert region, where more and more talent is starting to pop up on the ice.
Well, you mentioned the outstanding play of Dimitrios Kumanzis at Edina High School as well. He's actually from Scottsdale, Arizona, played in the Phoenix Junior Coyotes program before he went to Edina for high school. And Austin Matthews, obviously, of course, from Arizona, and you're starting to see these non-traditional hockey markets turn out some products.
Shot turned aside by DeCord. Johnny Walker, the man in the box, also a Phoenix product. That's blocker to side. DeCord ready for the rebound. The cues around the end board, stays in play. Fox out at the blue line. Connects a pass. Serter Gossage. Does he have a hat trick on tap? There's a shot. Fox denied. Put a drive toward goal. Got some space to the upper corner, but puck didn't raise up high enough. Good power play here for Harvard. Trying to paw that out of the air was Pashno. Can't clear it across the line. Walsh goes through the circle. Down low. Redirected. Walsh on the follow. Will turn it back up top. Fox creeping in. One-timer. Walsh with a blast and a save. That'll get the Sun Devil fans onto their feet.
DeCord flashes the leather there with the glove. He prevented Serter Gossage from doing the quick wraparound here. And here's that shot again from Fox, and then a bomb coming on that point on the one-timer from Riley Walsh and right into the glove of DeCord. But DeCord strong once again. 32 saves so far, 7:56 left to go in the third period. This is a must-kill for Arizona State. I think we're going to see a timeout taken by Harvard.
So with 7:56 remaining, Harvard will gather around Ted Donato, leading 2-1. So once this weekend concludes, for the Harvard Crimson, they have a really enticing matchup coming up against Cornell, one of the top teams in the preseason poll across the ECAC. It's going to be a frozen apple game at the world's most famous arena, November 24th, 8 p.m. puck drop. You can see that action on ESPN+. It's a very special event, and it'll be the first time that Harvard competes there.
You always see that Madison Square Garden game as well. And on the other side for Arizona State, this is game 2 of a 6-game road trip for the Sun Devils. They'll be at Nebraska, Omaha after Thanksgiving, and then they'll make their way back east to Princeton for December 7th and 8th, so they'll get a bit of a weekend off. But those racking up those frequent flyer miles for the Arizona State ice hockey program as they continue their trek around the nation in their independent schedule.
Like a barnstorming club, and then of course they've got to get back to campus in Tempe, go to class for a couple days, and then hit the road again. Not bad for a team that was in club hockey a few years back. Chance now, in comes Holman, he scores! Croston on the follow, Holman got upended, and this game is tied 2-2.
Credit Holman for 70% of that goal. He was able to break the puck out defensively inside his own end, and it goes to Croston, who gets that pass inside the top of the slot, and he buries it 5-hole, much to the delight of the very loud, vocal minority audience here, all the way from Tempe, waving that banner.
Don't forget the DeCourts as well. A little bit shorter drive from North Andover. And they just watched the Sun Devils score their first shorthanded goal this year. The Crimson power play continues with 40 seconds left on the 2-minute minor to Johnny Walker, the leading scorer in the nation. Held off the score sheet again, but we've got a brand new hockey game here. They have been so desperate to find scoring elsewhere from number 7.
And you mentioned the shorty as well. That's a big sigh of relief. You always want to try to get some production on the penalty kill. You obviously want to kill it first, but that's a big play, and you nullify the top-ranked power play in the nation as well.
Second time tonight, the Sun Devils have tied it up. The Crimson have an answer. Walsh thought about the one-timer. Shot deflected down low. Pashna at the stick extended. Power play coming to an end for the Crimson. Thornbach on the spin. Centers a pass all the way across the ice. 5-on-5 hockey now. Garcia. Gage there. Serger Gossage. What a find through the middle of the ice. Just a little bit too strong. Off a first touch from Walker. And look at Marino outskate him. On comes number 12. Great stick handle. He's still going coast to coast. Finally gives it up. Shot stopped by DeCourt. Less than 7 to play here in regulation. Harvard trying to pick up the 2-game sweep. Shot came in from way outside and scooped up by DeCourt. Creeping toward 40 shots for Harvard tonight.
And Arizona State was really just breaking their way into Division I hockey. DeCourt last season faced the most shots in NCAA among Division I goaltenders, and we've seen less of them as Arizona State has continued to improve this program, but a very strong performance from him all weekend and trying to keep his team in it once again.
Arizona State wanted this to be a measuring stick trip. They were bullied 2 seasons ago when Harvard traveled out to the desert. Same story last night. Sun Devils look alive in the third, but they got offside there. Marino just keeping his man down. Really, that was the frustration last night, Tim, was a lot of offsides. Arizona State too frantic to get into the offensive zone, and their passing between the blue lines was sloppy at best. Much different story tonight.
when you have an aggressive defensive core, in that case it's Marino, he steps up, doesn't allow that clean entry into the offensive zone. You're going to have plays like that with the offsides play, and you're not going to be able to let the opposing team get inside the zone. You're going to really bottle things up in the neutral zone.
Starting to pepper Lackey with more shots from distance. Long dump and skate here, and it will be an icing. 5:46 remaining in regulation. We're back to square one between the Sun Devils and the Crimson. Talked extensively about how special teams might settle this contest, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's one more trip to the penalty box upcoming. The way these two teams have failed to play clean hockey for long stretches of time, you wonder if one of these two dynamic power play units might get a chance to decide it. A little too quick on the draw there was Bedini.
Arizona
Best
State
in the nation.
0 for 3 on the power play, but do have that shorthanded goal, and Bedini's going to get tossed here. He was too quick on the draw.
Rusko whispers something to Bedini. He'll jump in against Bush. Sun Devils take it. Gruber outside the circle. One-timer for Bush. Lackey stoned him. Wow. What a chance for a go-ahead goal.
Remember that save.
Couldn't ask for much more. Nervy moments here for Harvard. Bloodstrand backhands it all the way down the ice for an icing.
That's back-to-back icing so far here for Harvard. They haven't been able to do much in their breakout. They're just going for that long alley-oop pass, and their forwards are curling back off either for line changes or they have to respect Arizona State offensively here. And off that last face-off here, Kevin, that's where you said that set play that resulted in the one-timer. Bedini got tossed, and Krusko lost the face-off. Now Shaw will have to win it here.
No line change for Harvard after the icing. So some tired legs will stay out there. Shore wins the war. Lemieux in his back pocket. Now up it goes for Floodstrand, senior, just outside Chicago. Turns, nearly found Kerfoot. Blasting down low. Get in a shooting lane. Now a chance, that's wide. Floodstrand doing a lot of work behind the goal. And he got interfered with. Maniscalco takes that costly penalty that we knew was coming. Harvard 2, Arizona State 2. Winning time coming up as regulation. Adam Fox, one of the best in Division I, scoring per game, 3 goals, 11 assists this year. And could this be his time on the man advantage? Josh Maniscalco goes away, 2 minutes for holding, 5-on-4 in favor of Harvard. Arizona State just knotted it up on a short-handed goal. Holman scored the first. ASU trying to burn off these 2 minutes. Bunching up that puck along the near boards. Croston picked up the equalizer. Both goals tonight from Zerder Gossage on the other side for Harvard. He's in the middle of a 5-point weekend. One more would give him the hat trick. Fox hits the brakes. Dumps it down to Dornbach. Right back to Fox. One of the best scoring defensemen in the country. Defers to Riley Walsh. Cross ice feed, that's out in front of Dornbach. First year playing out there with the big boys. He's got it again. Fox and Dornbach taking their time. They work it down low, redirected in front, nothing there. Back out to Fox. Steps in. Dornbach off the sidewall. Sun Devil foul down. Room for Walsh. He drives. He's stopped.
That play before, Harvard was looking for the back door. You had the point man down below the goal line going for that backhand no-look pass. And the Harvard top plays resulted in a goal against Yale last week, but this instance gets denied. Has a good shot from Riley Walsh, swallowed up by DeCord.
If DeCord can see it, he can save it. Top 5 nationwide in save percentage. His cheering section gets louder and louder. 35 saves tonight. Sun Devils trying to win this draw. They've been bullied by Harvard in the face-off circle, and the Crimson take it again. Down to the last 30 seconds on this power play. Precious seconds here in the third. Redirected on the doorstep and stopped again. How did DeCord reach back and save that puck?
I cannot wait to see this replay because it looked like there was an awful lot of space open in the center's dot. And he just had the glove down. He was able to rob Bedini. Holy smokes.
Bedini looks to the heavens. He can't believe he couldn't shovel that puck in for the go-ahead goal.
He had literally the entire net to shoot at, and the only spot where DeCord's glove was, that puck ends up. My goodness.
Still some time on the Crimson power play. Marino out there now. Back behind the goal they go. Marino's got it at the blue line. Rathbone joins him. Through the circle again. Final 5 seconds of the advantage. And Scalzo released into the mix. It's 5-on-5. Crimson buzzing. Shot comes in from the angle. DeCord tried to reach out and stop it. Now it jousts for the puck in front, and the Sun Devils clear it down. What a penalty kill in crunch time for Arizona State. And Scalzo, first man down, Kerfoot pulled it out of harm's way. Gorley earns a change for Arizona State. One man stays out there, it's Bush. Marino triggering the offense for Harvard. Long skate across the blue line, and they went offsides anyway.
1 for 7 tonight so far for Harvard on the power play. And after Arizona State gave up 2 yesterday, now so far the penalty kill has come to play.
Back in fourth goals all night. Serter Gossage made it 1-0 on the power play. Dylan Holman had the answer. Serter Gossage scored even strength in the second. Anthony Croston leveled it short-handed here in the third. Whole lot of penalties and a whole lot of fun to watch. This has been a lively 2-game series between two teams I'd love to see match up again soon. Lackey slides that one away. Fox is backed up in his own end. Great forecheck here for Arizona State. Bush wins it. Walker got tossed down, just a little push in the back by Olsen. Very clean, but effective. Shot whizzes in, knocked down by Olsen. Second chance from the goal line extended. Gruber looking for a target in front. Bush circling, Lackey paddles it aside. Fresco needs help. Flung it ahead, Gregoire couldn't catch up. And it'll be another icing. So this line will stay out on the ice. They were getting set to change, but couldn't leave fast enough.
You're going to leave the big boys out there for Arizona State as well. Bush, Gruber, and Walker, they were in on the forecheck very hard and almost created an opportunity on that shot on the half wall here, Kevin. Lackey was starting to drift a little bit to his left. There was room on that near side post, but he was able to get it with the paddle. But it did look like that shot almost caught him off guard a little bit from our vantage point.
Greg Powers and his staff looking on. Backed up by the Sun Devil faithful. And offsides against Arizona State.
Yeah, Gruber was just caught behind the play there. He was behind the net after that face-off loss and couldn't get out in time to catch up with Bush going for the re-entry.
So we're down to the last 126 in regulation. Harvard's been to overtime 3 times this year. 2 ties and a loss. They dropped a shootout in the regular season opener 7-6. What a thriller that was at Dartmouth. Crimson on the wrong end of that one. Went back-to-back with ties against Princeton here at home and again against Yale last Friday.
Arizona State then into overtime once. It was a 4-3 win at Penn State and State College.
Last minute here, the third period. Shot comes in, Lackey popped it down to himself, a little shoulder after the whistle from Clifford. That knocked down Bedini. A lot of room to get a shot off there, and Lackey had some trouble with the rebound control. Wisely decided not to let it fire over the top of the cage. He wants to keep this game in front of him. So critical face-off now for Arizona State. Squatting over the top of that puck was Drury, and it worked out well for Harvard. See if Marino can trigger a burst. Work it right back to him. Flipped off his skate at center ice. On the attack goes Kerfoot. Fox sends it down to DeCord, looking for a pass, maybe another assist, but a giveaway. Kerfoot on the doorstep, and it's wide.
Going for a centering pass, nobody home.
Some of the bold nature of DeCord there. Had to look for the glorious two-line pass up the ice for Arizona State. Nearly gave it away. Now a chance as time expires. Bodies flying in front, more pushing and shoving. And why not head to overtime?
And we're going to have a power play as well. I'm not sure who got flagged for the penalty, but the official in the near side or the far side of the ice did have his arm up. It's going to be a slash. And it looks like it's going to be Arizona State going to the box once again. So Harvard's going to open up overtime on the power play, and that's a kind of a killer penalty here, Kevin. It's going to be on Maniscalco.
Second time here in the third period, Maniscalco is guilty of a penalty. We look back at a wild third period. A whole lot of penalties and only one goal to speak of. It came shorthanded for Arizona State. We said over and over again coming into this weekend that special teams might determine the series. The #1 penalty kill in the country heading into Friday's game belonged to Arizona State. And what do you know, they cashed in the equalizer tonight.
And after giving up 2 power play goals last night, they've come up pretty strong so far. But it's a dangerous opportunity to keep giving Harvard chances on the power play. We saw the shorthanded goal there on the great play in the slot. And on the other end, DeCord's been there to answer every shot since the second goal for the Crimson.
Anthony crossed in from Dylan Holman. You saw that odd man rush on the penalty kill. 37 saves for Joey DeCord in net for Arizona State. A whole lot more face-off wins tonight for Harvard. Actually below their normal clip, and there you see the face of Descalso. He can't believe how costly that penalty will be.
1 for 8 so far for Harvard on the power play, and regardless of what happens here, a winning formula in a hockey game, not give your opponent 9 chances on the power play.
So the Crimson pursue their first overtime win of the year. 4th time they've been to the extra segment. Arizona State 1-0 after that 4-3 overtime victory on the road against Penn State. A landmark win over a team from the Big Ten.
First ever win for Arizona State over a ranked opponent as well, and that really kind of raised some eyebrows around the college hockey world. We knew the success of Arizona State after a couple of close games against Ohio State a couple of weeks earlier, but to get that win at State College at one of the most raucous environments in college hockey, that's a program-defining win in just their 3rd full Division I season.
Next goal wins, 5 minutes on the clock here in overtime. Crimson drive into the zone first. Zerder Kosic is out there looking for his hat trick. He's got both goals tonight. Dornbach goes down low to Drury. Sidesteps a man. Adam Fox out there as well. Down low, Drury on the wrap. Deflection in front. Nearly pawed in, but stopped by DeCord. Guess who? Zerder Kosic knocking in front.
Don't know if that one would have counted either way because it was batted down, like you said, by Zerder Kosic, but with how well he's played this weekend, certainly very possibly got a stick on that. Would have gone for the hat trick. And one thing I want to point out here, Kevin, 3rd period, don't do the ice in between 3rd and overtime. You have to be careful on a lot of these passes. That puck is going to be bouncing everywhere, especially anything back to the point. Be prepared if that puck's going to jump over your stick, and it can go odd man the other way.
As the ice deteriorated late in the 3rd period, we saw that a lot from Arizona State. Testing Michael Lackey on the other end from distance. Pashnuk sends it as far as he can. Gibson gained the zone. They'll cue it around. That's Dornbach, the first year. Drury quarterbacking again. Underneath that goal line. Back and forth they go. Dornbach looking for the redirect and nearly connected. Drury couldn't connect. Tip of his stick. Fox now. Can he determine it? Feeds it too wide for Walsh. Oh, he wanted to unload a big shot from outside the circle.
That was the right play. That passing lane to open up. It was just a little too out of Walsh's reach on that pass from Adam Fox.
Jansson's getting gritty. Drury tries to step around Pashnuk. Left him in his dust. Dornbach. He's got it again. Thinks. Back out to Fox. Steps in. Shoots. That's wide by a few inches. Walsh holds the zone. Final 13 seconds of the power play. Crimson trying to win it here in OT. Dornbach. Glove save by DeCord. He's been too good.
Shows that top corner and takes it away just like that. That's a dangerous shot from a dangerous player in a dangerous location, and two bodies in the way as well, but DeCord tracks it well. He's over on the left post and shuts the door once again. 40 saves for him tonight.
An unbelievable effort by the man who's done it all season long. Now we'll get a quick conversation over at the scorer's table.
I think we're just going to make sure that the clock is correct, both with the game clock and the penalty clock, because there's 8 seconds left on the penalty, but 3:07 left on the game clock. And no math major in my college days, but not sure how you can have a 2-minute penalty start at the start of overtime and have an extra second.
Here's some math for you. DeCord's got 40 saves tonight, which sounds pretty outstanding, but it won't come close to his career high at Arizona State. He had 53 saves against Quinnipiac last January. It's a much different Arizona State team. More well-rounded now. That one well wide. Power play has come to an end. 5-on-5 hockey with less than 3 minutes left in overtime. Maniscalco nearly cost his team twice. Skates off the ice. Walker back out there, leading scorer in the nation. Rathbone, oh, what a find in front. Problem was, it was a maroon jersey. It was Gruber.
Creative centering pass on that play. Kevin goes one way, shows, and wraps it around the other. There were bodies out front. That can hit a litany of directions.
Great cross ice feed. Bush lays into one, and Lackey toe pokes it aside. Now firing again. They score! It's Maniscalco on a drive from the blue line, and redemption is sweet for the Sun Devils. Arizona State wins it 3-2 in overtime.
Well, you mentioned Maniscalco. He was in the penalty box to start overtime, and he comes out on his second shift after getting out of there and unloads a bomb from the point. We'll see if it gets deflected out front. No, that went straight through and beat Lackey. Walker was in front with the screen, and the absolute cannon from Maniscalco gets Arizona State their first win against Harvard.
Sun Devils improved to 2-0 in overtime this year. They pick up a win on the road to split this 2-game set. Their head coach Greg Powers said they took the first period off yesterday. They got stronger as the weekend went on, and it's a comeback victory tonight. A short-handed goal tied it up, and a game winner in overtime from Joshua Maniscalco, the first year, picks up his second goal of the year. What a game this was tonight, Tim.
Absolutely. You look at DeCord, he's able to give a nice firm handshake to his goaltending partner, Michael Lackey. Those two are outstanding tonight. DeCord's able to get the better of it in this one after these teams traded opportunities. And Maniscalco with the rocket from the point. It's the winner. Walker, the screen. And Arizona State can make the cross-country trip happy.
So for that man, Tim Kohlerhaus, and our entire crew here at Bright Landry Hockey Center, I'm Kevin Gale saying so long for now, where the final score reads Arizona State 3, Harvard 2.